Hello friends, this is Kumar and I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. Friends, today I am here to discuss with you Lines Written in Early Spring by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, born 1770, died 1850, a great romantic poet, gave a new direction to English poetry. In his poems, he presents everyday objects and sights of nature with such freshness and emotion that they appear extraordinary and full of life. He tries to use the language of ordinary people as far as possible. He believed that human mind can develop best in association with nature and that man-made systems and rules tend to distort and frustrate the human mind. In the poem Lines Written in Early Spring, 1798, Wordsworth describes how everything in nature appears to be full of joy, while the distortions in society often make the life of most human beings unhappy. He says that one day, while resting in the shade of trees, he heard a large number of happy sounds in nature. The beautiful wild flowers growing naturally and the branches of plants moving with the breeze all seemed to enjoy their very existence. The birds looked happy in their playful movements. All this joy thrilled the poet's heart, and he felt that his soul had become one with the happy life in nature. Yet, in the midst of all this happiness, he felt very sad to think how most human beings are unhappy as a result of distortions, injustice, and unnecessary suffering in human society. Unhappiness in human lives is all the more painful because nature does not want any living being to be unhappy, and this unnecessary suffering is caused by selfish or blind human actions. Lines Written in Early Spring. Now let us read the poem. I heard 1,000 blended notes. 1,000 means a large number of. Sometimes a specific figure is mentioned as here to indicate a very large number. Blended means mingled or mixed, while notes means musical sounds. While in a grove I sat reclined. Grove is a group of trees growing close together, while sat is the poetic use of sat. Reclined means in a position of rest, leaning against a tree. To recline means to lean or lie back in a flat or nearly flat position. In that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. So in the first stanza, the poet is saying that once he heard a large number of mixed musical sounds while he was sitting under a grove, under a group of trees growing close together, and he was very happy. Even while his mind was happy, he thinks of unhappiness unnecessarily caused by wrong decisions or actions of other human beings or our own, and it makes him sad. To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. So, the joyful sounds and beautiful sights of nature so moved the poet that he felt oneness of his soul with nature. He felt his soul expanding with happiness as he shared the joy of the birds and flowers. But then his mind turned towards human beings, and it grieved his heart to think that what man has made himself by indulging in distortions and indulging in society and living in the society of human beings and growing to industry, what he has become. He feels that man should live in nature and enjoy nature and live peaceful and contentful life in nature and not indulge in the rat race of money. Through primrose tufts in that sweet bower, the periwinkle trailed its wreaths. Primrose is a kind of wild plant that has light yellow flowers in spring, often referred to as wild rose in India. Tufts means bunches, while sweet bower is a shady shelter provided by green leafy branches of trees growing close together in a sort of circle. Periwinkle is a type of small plant with light blue or white flowers that trails or grows along the ground, while wreaths means circles or curls. So the periwinkle plant was growing along the ground in curving lines between primrose plants. And 'tis my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. And it was poet's belief that every flower in nature enjoys the air whenever it breathes, whenever it takes breath. So it enjoys the air it breathes. Means the flower or the nature or the trees are enjoying their life while the human beings are indulging in rat race money and they are not enjoying their life as they should. The birds round me hopped and played. Hopped means to jump. Their thoughts I cannot measure. So, while poet was sitting in that under that grove, the birds around him were playing and jumping, and their thoughts, their enjoyment, he could not measure that thing. He could not measure what they had in their mind, what they were thinking. They were just enjoying their life. But the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. Thrill is a kind of feeling of great excitement because of something pleasant. So, their slightest movement seemed to reflect a strong feeling of joy. The budding twigs spread out their fan to catch the breezy air. Budding means beginning to grow, while twigs are small thin stems growing from the branches of a bush or tree. So, the growing twigs look like a fan fluttering in the gently flowing breezy air. And I must think, do all I can, that there was pleasure there. And the poet says that all I can do is to think. As he is poet, so it is his duty to think. And he thought that there was pleasure. There was real pleasure in that scene where the budding twigs were spreading out their fan to hold the breezy air. If this belief from heaven we sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament but man has made of man? Lament means to feel or express grief or sorrow at something. So, the poet believes that the joy found everywhere in nature reflects the sacred plan of God and nature to spread happiness on this earth. So he feels sad that human beings, with their distorted social setup and misguided rules and practices, have made life very unhappy and cheerless for a majority of human beings. So, our present poem, Lines Written in Early Spring by William Wordsworth, finally ends here. I hope you understand the poem very well. If you understand the poem, then please like, share and comment on the video, and please subscribe the channel for further such updates. This much all in this lecture. Stay tuned for further such lectures. Thank you very much for joining us.